Hit me!
Episode 291.
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
This is Mark Evan Jackson from Everything. You're listening to NetHeads.
Welcome, everybody. Another edition of NetHeads coming at you live from the Webernets of the Inner Things. My name's Will.
And I'm Trent.
You want to take part in the program, you can one of many ways. If you even want to watch the program, you could do that too. We're live streaming whenever we're doing this on YouTube. We're doing it on Facebook. Those two consistently. And the easiest way to find that is netheadsonair.com/live. Or you know what? Go to the Facebooks and find NetHeads on Air. Or follow NetHeads on Air via the is it NetHeads on Air via the Twitter trend?
It is, yeah. NetHeads on Air is our Twitter handle.
Yeah, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You do all those things, and you can't miss it. But barring us actually looking or not looking at one of those items, you could also interact with the program via Twitter. Trent, finally, I'm going to shut up and let you explain that.
Yeah, you can be like a long-time friend of the program, Ryan Conley, who is listening live. Just use the hashtag NetHeads. Yeah, you know what? We're probably going to see a lot more traffic with that hashtag as March approaches and the NCAA basketball playoffs will encroach on our hashtag. But I'd like to think there's room for everyone.
I would like to think that as well. Finally, sorry, I always do this to us. I'd like to think that as well. I would love to think that listener appreciation would just go so far up because of that. But of course, we know they're there for the basketballs, and that's what it is. By the way, Trent, normally we don't start talking about the social medias and things, or actually we talk about everything. It doesn't matter. But what we normally don't do is actually start talking off tech. But I noticed there's an addition to what's rocking in front of the microphone in your home studio.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just a little bit of a windscreen. I was doing some voiceover stuff for a side project, and I noticed that I was getting a lot of pops.
Oh really?
And I really like this one. Because it just kind of wraps around the existing mic, and without having like the big shield in front of your face that you have to like peek around to actually see things. So yeah, that's actually really nice. I enjoy it a lot.
And actually, I think, hold on, I may still have it open over here somewhere. I do. I really, really do. If you are a listener to the Ralph Report, you can go to theralphreport.com, or you can find Ralph Report on Patreon. Which is the best place to get it. It's the place you should get it because you get the show every day for 15 cents a day, folks. You can have this customized, personalized morning show effectively for yourself. And I got to tell you, it's one of the few things that I do like to spoil myself with, getting that every day. If you listen to that show, however, the whole point is they just added new microphones and Alctron PF8 studio microphone windscreens or screens that they're described. These are really interesting though, because for your like a microphone like yours, where you got the little nub, the how does it pronounce cardioid? Cardi B. What is it?
Yeah, cardioid, I believe.
There you go.
Super cardioid, yeah.
Carteroided. It's a carterized.
Super cardioid.
Yes. Okay. There you go. This type of screen may be of interest to you. Well, actually, not to you. You have the same problem I do. Your microphone is very directional, so you can actually. You know what? Let's for the people looking at home. This is going to be me. This is the sound of me taking off my protection, everyone. There we go.
So, safety first, Will.
So this is what my microphone really looks like. As you can see, the actual microphone element is a good 2 to 3. Well, let's see, 2. I try and tell my wife that's 6. So yeah, it's about 2 inches right there, and that recesses it in within this like protective grill. But also you can tell it's very directional. This is me talking directly at it. This is me talking next to it. You see, big difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
So some Ryan Connolly is calling, and I want to thank Skype for re-enabling the audio cues for us. That's just fabulous. Ryan, hold on a second. I'm talking about a microphone. Just give me a minute here. So, not to mention, who knows if Skype even works anymore. It's been so long.
Yeah, it works.
Well, hey, did you hear
Oh,
him?
there he
Trey?
is.
Okay, you heard him
Heyo.
too. Okay, good. He's in there somewhere. Now, hush you.
Hi.
So you were suffering from the same problem, though. You need something that's like this because it's very clever. It's the same type of pop screen, but it's mounted inside of some very thick acoustic foam that is sort of in a rounded cube or an angled cube. Well, it's a cube, but instead of harsh angles, 45-degree angles, they're more like recessed. Well, no, I meant 90-degree angles. It's like recessed 45-degree angles, so not sticking out. But anyway, and that goes over your microphone. But then, for the type where you're addressing it from the front here, which I don't do, that's where it has the pop screen diaphragm, and this is thick acoustic foam everywhere else. So you're sort of creating a very small sound booth around your microphone while you're able to address it, which I thought was amazing. I'm like, oh, that's so fantastic. And then I looked and I realized, no, we're front address microphones. We're not side address. So
Right, yeah. So
it wouldn't help us.
Exactly. If you were using just a regular cardioid mic, which has the diaphragm like kind of horizontal or perpendicular to your mouth, so like a cardioid mic is like when you go into like a recording studio to do like music, like that's what I started podcasting with were those, and the sound on them is amazing, but they are a lot less. Well, they're great because they don't capture. It's like, so super cardioids will capture sounds directly behind it.
Yeah.
But cardioids just have a wider breadth. So cardioids like at 180 degrees, and supercardioids like 130.
Yeah.
Brings it down a little bit more.
So in the case of either of these, this wouldn't work for you because
correct.
You need to mount this thing. The mounting hole for it, where you slide it over like another layer of protection, is over the microphone. So that way the diaphragm would be where you're facing here, which we can't do. Actually, I could, but I would have to brutally modify or split the. None of this is important. Ryan,
well, I am.
How are you?
This language, this verbiage that we're using has got me rock hard.
Microphone nerd.
Like we're just talking about protecting and getting your mouth right next to the diaphragm and just directionally like staring into it as it's staring back at you. I am rock hard.
Phallic shaped objects near your face.
It is look. I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit much. We're being a bit excessive here.
Especially when you put that cover back over the top of it.
Yeah. Well, you always want your microphone to be protected. That's the important thing.
Yeah. Safety first.
So I
and
ordered
teamwork.
And because that's why I found your acquisition of the pop screen very interesting time-wise, because I was just looking at the thicker one, which I would have, except that, like, Rika, just both of you shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, we all want a bigger one, Will.
I know, right? Well,
it's just not in the cards sometimes. You just got to play the hand you're dealt.
In this case, the bigger one, let me tell you what it does, sir. It actually
testosterone.
Yeah. But other things you might have to do. Look, if it's bigger on one end, it might get smaller on the other, Will. You got to be careful.
Lord, I never thought talking about these phallic symbols we always speak into would in any way get double suggestive language.
Ryan, you know what I'm talking about.
I do. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That terrifies me. Anyway, the whole point is I wanted to get the bigger windscreen, the thicker foam
Yeah.
But because I had one and I wanted to try it out just to see if it would isolate. I'm always about isolating noise in the room.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Like
You
actually,
can do more with that than anything.
like on our live stream, I think realistically speaking, you're probably coming in hotter than I am because I'm like, F it, I'll fix it in post.
Sure.
Which is why we give the video product away basically for free, because
Yeah.
it's got the least superior, it has the least favorable audio on it.
Yeah, you sound horrible on Facebook, Will.
And just out of distribution wise too, which we'll get into in tech news a little later, some new options for video streaming that is now available to the public, not just people with Android phones.
Oh, I'm very intrigued. Wait, are you saying I sound terrible on Facebook? Were you making a joke, or
Is that hyperbole, Ryan?
No, you're actually from when I was listening on Facebook before you answered Skype and it shut Facebook down on me. You were a good little bit softer than Trent.
See, so you were right, Will.
Yeah. Well, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you've
There's
been
a
there.
first time for everything.
There's a first time for everything.
There. Now Trent and I are a little more balanced. Speak again, sir.
Since you said goodbye.
Yeah, you're still just Trent, I'm there, no matter what I do, you're hotter, my friend. I can't.
He's always gonna be. It's that beard.
Right? I guess so.
Stop it.
It acts as a voice amplifier right there in itself.
Actually, I take
don't.
that back. I've seen pictures of Trent without the beard. I think the beard needs to go.
Oh, bite your tongue, sir.
No. My wife shares that same sentiment, Trent. I mean, okay, look, this isn't the type of thing I should really be saying, but
Sure,
but
yeah,
it's true.
yeah.
My wife has said in looking at some of the like the older profile pictures of yours, I don't know how they come up.
Yeah.
But you looked handsome, like a fresh-faced babe, if you will.
Well, he still looks handsome.
Oh, Ryan, you're too much. No, I just looked a lot less homeless then. and I had a well-defined chin at that point. Who knows what's under here now? Or it could be like a nutsack hanging from my chin. We don't know.
Wait, look. Before it was all innuendo and double entendre. Now you've just straight up said you're a Balchinian.
Nutsack on his chin, yes.
Thank you, a Balchinian.
There you go. There's very few times you can reference Men in Black 2, nor would you really want to.
No, yeah, I was gonna say. Or even remember it.
I don't know, the whole point about the Men in Black movies is unimportant right now. Ryan, were you just calling to say hey, or did you have something in mind?
No, I was just calling to say hey because I haven't actually been able to speak to you guys in a while. My schedule and your guys' schedule has been all willy-nilly.
How are things at the Geek Squad?
I'm loving it. I'm loving driving around and helping people flesh out their dreams of what they want their home theater system or smart home stuff to do and look like.
Now, I mean, you're the Geek Squad itself is no longer driving the Volkswagen Beetles anymore, are they?
Oh no, I get to drive a awesome looking Prius.
Hey man,
You built me up, and you're like, I'm driving around this Mercedes cargo van. It's
no, trust me.
Just roll around.
Once you shut off the eco thing on the Prius, that thing can get up to 80 pretty darn quick, actually.
Yeah,
and zip in and out of traffic.
Even mine that got destroyed, Trent. It had like you press a button and it basically they called it power mode because they didn't. Or was it power mode, or was it turning off the eco feature?
Turning off the eco stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny.
they wanted to actively guilt you into getting a car that actually responds like a car, like you'd want, like holy shit, the cops are on my 6, gotta go kind of speed.
Yeah, I remember when the Prius first came out. It was Top Gear. They did an episode where they put the Stig in a Prius, and then they had just I can't remember who it was, probably Jeremy driving like an M3, and they went around a course, and for the Prius to keep up with the M3 at a moderate pace, it burned way more fuel than the BMW did.
Yeah, most definitely.
Now the best thing about the Prius I'm driving is if you pull up the Geek Squad logo, the K looks like a side boob.
Oh.
Okay, I'm googling this right now.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're telling me,
It's
on
the
those
black-
on those long lunch breaks when you're parked out in the woods and you don't have cell phone service and you need a visual aid.
Hey, I have cell phone service everywhere I go because I'm awesome.
What the hell is happening? What is
Have you pulled it up yet, Trent?
what has gone on
like
here?
The lower K, the
The-
lower.
The Geek Squad logo, the black and white one with the orange squad underneath,
Uh-huh.
the K, the lowercase K, looks like a legitimate side boob. They actually
Okay.
had to change the logo because of it.
Oh, the negative space does.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I see it. Yep, I absolutely see it now. Where you've got the arm like an elbow out up top. Yeah, and then I see the new one, which is like just a swooping K.
Uh-huh.
Ah, that's interesting.
The swooping K, not to be confused with a C, a bouncy C.
Which is what it was before.
Anyway.
But yeah, I just had to point that out for Trent. I thought he'd get a kick out of that.
Okay.
Love it.
Well, it's nice. I guess I don't know. Never mind. What's going on there, Trent?
Dog's chewing on his foot.
Oh, okay. But in a good way? Oh.
No.
No? Oh. Uh-oh. Someone got a hot spot?
No, he's just he needs to. I need to trim the fur out from beneath his paws, and so he just starts licking it until they start bleeding.
Oh, lovely.
Can I bring everybody down for a moment?
Nope.
Wah wah.
No, we're only like 10 minutes into this, man. Don't.
My dog came home in his urn today.
Oh, man.
Oh, dude.
That's my
Yeah.
That's my second least favorite time post losing a pet. Obviously, the first is well, okay, it's the third because the first is when it happens, and that's you think that's the hardest part, and then depending on the vet you have, then like a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, or maybe a month later, sometime once the healing process has begun. You get a condolences card, and they've done an imprint of the paw with the ink dab on it. That's just to twist the knife a little, Trent. That's what I think.
We got both of those today.
Yeah. Oh,
Got
nice. It's a good
the
timing.
paw print and him. He's back home. So
Yeah, and then
That's awesome though. That like that's an option though to like keep the remains. Some cities like aren't set up for that, and like you have to leave the animal for like the carcass with the vet, which they are to dispose of. Like there's not like for example, right, like where I live, if you take the animal to the vet and it passes away there, you can't take it home and bury it yourself.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think ashes are a little different, Trent.
But
you know?
yeah, no, that's awesome because there is not a place to like cremate an animal where I live. At least what I'm aware.
See, and what I want to do, because I've still got look. This is the thing, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to my pets. They were wonderful when they were here, but there's like a collection of boxes in the laundry room now. Okay. And I always go for like the least expensive box because my long-term goal is to get some like faux rocks or something. They have these actually. You can get them whether it's made of rock, faux rock, or what have you with a plaque on it, and you can put your pet's name or something. And that's where I would like to put the ashes. More importantly, I'd really prefer it to be a legit like yard statue that the ashes were incorporated into.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That's awesome.
Done in the likeness of my pet. That's what I would really like. But then I don't know. Then you get into, well, do you put angel's wings on them or what have you? And
yeah, and then like they start like watching you when you're not watching them.
The hidden angels thing. I mean, come on.
They move when you're not looking.
Exactly.
And I don't need that.
The whole terrifying blink circumstance. Nobody wants that.
Ryan, I'm sorry to hear that. What was your dog's name?
Dozer.
Oh, good name.
He was a bulldozer when we first got him. He never jumped over anything. He would run at it and push through it. He did
that's
not.
Brilliant.
He knew how to jump. He'd stop and look at something, and then bulldozed through it. So he came with a different name, but when we rescued him, he was called Tamba, but not even 3 minutes in the household, and he was Bulldozer.
You knew what he was right off the bat.
And that was a good option. See, me, I would go in a similar situation. Another alternative would be Dodge, because people of a particular truck ownership would say if you can't dodge it, ram it. So, you know, that would kind of work as well.
The other option was Vash the Stampede, but nobody else would have got that except for me.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? I'm a huge Trigun fan.
Well, okay, me and Trent would have gotten that.
Yeah, I think the same thing whenever I see stuff about like wrestling. I'm like, oh, I bet Trent understands that. And you know, it's just that's where I leave it there. Anyway, Ryan, thanks for your call, man. Really appreciate it.
Okay, fine. Well, I'll go away.
Well, no, I mean, because
Ryan.
now we're going to talk about living pets. You can hang around for it. I'm not. I just wasn't fishing for a second co-host, third co-host.
That's fine. I'll hang up now.
No.
I love you too.
If you want to hang out for some pup dates, you can, man. I mean, it's up to you. I was trying to be courteous. That's all.
I'm gonna go let you get back to your show, and I'll continue being a watcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See you in the tweet stream.
Thanks for making it weird,
Bye.
bro. All right. I wasn't trying to blow him off. You know, I was just trying to. It's like, well, you've been with us a while. First, you had to listen to us talk about microphones and not get to say anything, and then anyway, not to make it a thing too late. So we did talk about technology at the front. That's good. But Trent, obviously, things within my household has changed anyway.
Yeah, in a huge way. For anyone that's been following you on the social medias, like your Twitter, there's a beautiful addition in the home.
That is true. That is true. Lovely piece of furniture added. No, I'm kidding. But
God damn it.
but even with all that, Trent, I got to tell you that I'm still amazed. Somehow we're getting 3 episodes out this month, and the shortest month of the year.
Dude,
I don't understand how it's possible. I don't know.
You know what? We're rolling. We're rolling with the homies.
If that's what you think,
it's 1992.
We blew off 2 weekends, and somehow we're still pulling off 3 shows in 1 month. I don't understand. Obviously,
it's the midweek show. That's the secret.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, that's the secret.
I thought it was the midweek show, but then it was like I don't know, a couple midweeks just didn't want a midweek.
It's because there was a certain holiday midweek as well.
Midweek?
Valentine's Day.
Oh, that thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I won't repeat the message that I sent to Trent, but you know, when I suddenly realized, yeah, that might not be a good day to podcast on. You know, because I'm married. By the way, also, as you can tell, I have once again applied the epoxy resin, the JB Weld, if you will, to the Shure headphones that I just won't let go of. These are supposedly really nice headphones. I just, given the location where I got one of those hooks you can attach under the desk to hang them from, but I need to move where the computer tower is because it just smacks the business out of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you hit it with your knee?
Oh, they just everything. The chair, my knee, dogs, everything. Just so it's gotten these. You know, I would fully endorse their audio quality. It's fantastic. What is the name of these? Shure SRH 940s. They sound incredible. And considering, as I've said, we care more about the audio, I've just thrown caution to the wind. I'm not trying to look good. So I'm just, well, not that I could achieve that anyway, but I'm not trying to make it look like I'm just sitting here. I have foregone the earbuds. And I'm here with regular headphones just like you now.
And your audiologist would be proud of you for ditching the earbuds.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Too. You know, that's the other thing. When you have conditions, you know, I'm prone to vertigo and.
Oh, I didn't even think about like that as well.
Yeah.
Like, do earbuds affect that? Like the vertigo at all?
Well, I think the main issue is you're constantly changing your pressure when you're using earbuds. Like if you're using the kind with a silicone isolator, something
Yes.
around them.
Yeah,
so
yeah. The, like you feel like into your ear.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're constantly doing that. So if you're going with over the ears, it's much better. I know that recently when I've had to fly for business, I actually I was gifted another set of headphones that are sound reduction over the ear headphones, or noise canceling actually. And so what I do is anytime it doesn't matter whether they're on or not. The moment I get on the airplane and I'm sitting in the cabin, I just have those over my ears, and I don't take them off because of the increased pressure. Like when I have a spell, they tell me you shouldn't be flying in the next X number of hours because it'll just mess you up more.
Oh,
so.
I can imagine. Yeah. And I mean, additionally too, like there's nothing that says I don't want to talk to you, random dude from Wichita sitting next to me, than having just some big ass headphones over your ears.
That too. Because look, I'm just looking to get by, especially when I've flown on Southwest. I'm looking to just take in one of the crappy movies I'm not willing to pay to watch.
Or catch on cable.
Yeah, I'm okay. Fine, we're on the airplane. Give me some Spy Who Dumped Me. I'll take that. Oh, I'll take a side helping of Tag, and oh god, I can't even remember the other one.
If all else fails, I'll watch some classic episodes of Curb.
Yeah, there you go. Just whatever's. Give me that free. Gimme. So I'm not looking to have conversations with anybody. I'm just looking to. If I can't fall asleep, I'm looking to burn time. That's all it is.
Oh, and I'm like, I will stay up like as long as possible before a flight, so I will sleep on the flight because I just hate it. I just hate flying. I'm like Walt almost. I hate flying that much.
See, I should take a similar approach, but just instead of staying up late, I should just force myself to wake up early enough to where I know I've gotten just enough sleep, and now I can function to get myself to the airport because I've been up long enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably a better route than like sacrificing all the sleep.
Now here's the fun moment, Trent. Let me transition back. So I'm using regular headphones now.
Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And you were saying that you had a different microphone cover because the one you had was
consumed. It was shredded.
Eaten.
It was shredded.
It was a plaything.
Which is interesting because when it comes to the Samiad, Rika, I am he's a regular dog for everyone else. I have to be in my office with the door closed, or I will have had to have left the front door to not see the dog that just wants to hang out in the dining area. The moment the reality of me is more tucked away, he becomes a dog. It starts playing with the toys, goes room to room, all that jazz. So now, we doubled down, Trent, is what we did. Originally, we were talking about, okay, well, maybe we need to get a puppy for him because, like, one of the big things that they talk about, for those of you that may not remember, Rika was the dog that we adopted. He was a rescue from an Iowa puppy mill, and I use that term not specifically because it was less about poor breeding practices, and it was actually more about unhealthy living and hoarding.
The conditions, yeah.
Yeah, and we're talking about multiple dogs. Just look up, I think, Samiad, which is Samoyed, and Iowa,
Beautiful.
and you'll probably...
Beautiful dogs.
Yeah, you'll probably get, the story we're talking about. So he was rescued from that. And then we were so the big thing is these are dogs that have never really been socialized at all. So they, unlike a puppy, who when they're young and impressionable is very easy to learn what it means to be a people dog, they're more along the lines of a very timid pack animal. At least the two now that we've had our experiences with. So, but a big thing that they say to help the dogs move along is for them to have a helper dog, somebody to help show them what it is to be a dog and provide them a certain sense of security. So we were like, well, maybe we should get one of the same breed because, he also grew up constantly surrounded by more of these dogs. So, it would probably relax him if he had that visual supporting image of another dog that he's used to seeing. And And originally there was one that because we've been going through the Samoyed Rescue Foundation, San Francisco Samoyed Rescue is who we've been going through. And we went to see one dog, which was another male who happened to have kennel cough, so we couldn't actually meet him. Our dog couldn't. And they suspected. I'm sure. Anyway, these are details that don't matter. We went there because this was a dog that previously had been someone's pet and was very, energetic and friendly. And then our dog wasn't able to, because we went to the place where they were being sheltered, if you will. What's another word for it that we're looking for?
Fostered?
No, they're not getting fostered there, but boarded. There we go, boarded.
Oh, yeah.
So they're getting boarded there, and so there were a few of more of these Iowa dogs. They were like, well, if you also want to meet these girls, you can, because opposite sex usually goes better if you're pairing up your pets.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. I can that makes sense though, because then there's not like an ego thing, or that makes sense.
Do you have any type of issue like that though? I mean, do you have two males? Is that where you're at?
I do, and these guys are fine. However, I have noticed when other males come to play, like the other ones have an issue with them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. So anyway, our dog didn't get to meet this dog, and they said, well, do you want to just see how they may interact with Rika? And we said, sure. And going into this, I'm like, no, not another puppy mill dog. I can't. This is enough of a commitment, already having one dog that's terrified of me. Because the reason why they don't like me, I found out the answer, it's because up until the point where they were rescued, they had never met a man. They don't know what man is. They just know female of our species. That's it. So we went, and it's like, okay, well, what do you guys think? And they brought out 3 dogs, and there was another dog, Aurora, that which was a mouthful, so that had to be done away quickly. Plus, it sounds a lot like the noise that they make when they stretch and they go to talk to you. It's like, they kind of sound like that. So these two got along really well, and she was actually willing to approach me. Big plus. So we ended up, I hemmed and hawed on it. So well, do you want to foster her to see how things work out at home? I'm like, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because it means I don't have to fully commit to it, and I can see what they do. And my whole thing was I wanted to see these dogs play together. That was the big benchmark for me, because that's what Rika needs. He needs somebody to play with as well as somebody else that. And the thing is, you can't, much in the same way that we see people that are upset over race or sexual orientation or what have you, I can't let one person represent an entire thing. So Aurora has now become, we're iffy on the enunciation. They say Yuki, I say Uki, but it's Inuit for survivor. So we've changed her name to Yuki. And we did officially adopt her on Saturday, so after 1 week. So now we have 2 of these same white fluffy dogs, but she is much friendlier. She comes around people. She looks to be pet. She enjoys being pet. So she's got something going for her that that does provide some contextual stuff for our other dog. As well as, just somebody for him to chum around with. And they have instantly paired up.
Oh, my God, dude, the picture you tweeted says it all. That huge play bow is like a dog has to, be very comfortable to put itself in a vulnerable position like that with another dog. And that is, the height of, dog excitement, right, is the play bow, where they just, spread out both legs and go down, and they're waiting for the other one to make a move, and then they're trying to anticipate it. That is, the height of dog happiness. Wagging a tail means a lot of things, but a play bow means one fucking thing, and that they're stoked, and they're happy, and they're having a good time.
Hasn't played since, but neither here nor there.
Oh, well,
not with each other, but anyway, they're still getting along, and that's the point. And you're right, that's the one thing you wait for. That's the time where you get the happiest, especially when you see what some of these dogs go through. There were.
Oh my God, yeah.
There was easily 2 to 3 months where you really didn't see Rika at all. He was mostly in the dining area that I referred to. hanging out in there. That's his safe spot because he's able to build a virtual cave or crate or
denning.
a protective space. So that's where he would hang out. So now that we have the other dog, one of the things that we do need to work on now that we're doing is they just need to come into the family room with us for right now we're just shooting for an hour a day. They're in the family room with us. The girl dog doesn't mind. Rika, on the other hand, like I said, I have to not be here, and he's a normal dog. But also, I think it was a couple months ago, my daughter started bringing him up to her room, and that has really helped.
Yeah.
That has helped a lot. He is very, very friendly. He's a normal dog with her. Really, it's me. I'm screwing everything up somehow, Trent. I made the mistake. I exist is my problem.
Aww.
That's where I went wrong with this, and so, but I'm still happy. I mean, because that's one thing that I also balance. It's like, well, if we get a puppy, it's going to be the same pains. It's going to be trying to do housebreaking, socializing. I mean, a puppy will socialize faster, and that's great. But other than that, it's going to be everything else is still going to be the same work. Stuff's going to get destroyed. Carpets are going to get soiled. You got to do these things.
Yeah.
And in the end, it was the same thing like with the male dog. Like a puppy or this one male, they're not going to have a problem finding a home. They're not going to have an issue at all.
Right.
So we just figured the better thing to do was go this route. Because really, when you see them start to be dogs, that's like really. I hate to sound selfish, but it's really rewarding because you really feel like you accomplished something.
Yeah, no, for sure. Man, I've got a book I'm going to send you. I'm just going to file that away back in my brain, and I'll do that later. But yeah, just about like dogs and stuff. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So now
neither here nor there.
Yeah. So now we got two, and she will, like I said, she'll approach. It all depends on her mood. But that's what.
Yeah.
Even when these dogs aren't in like the states these ones are, they're very strong-willed dogs. So they will.
Yeah.
They're kind of like cats in a way because they're like. I'm not coming over there. I'm not. I'm here.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm going to be.
This is where I'm. Hey, you want to pet me? You come over here.
Yeah, which I can't. I walk in the. How do you want to make sure to get the dogs out? Real simple. Open up the sliding back glass door in the back of the house, and then send me into the family room, dining room. I will come around, and they will instantly go out. It's okay. We all have our roles, Trent.
Absolutely.
Well, she was. We have another call. I'll give you, Trent. You get two guesses on who this may be.
I'm gonna guess it's Roller Dog NC.
That would be correct, sir. Hey, Matt. How are you?
Of the Roller Dogs.
Yeah.
That's right. Good evening, gentlemen. Good to talk to you again.
Thank you. It's good to
Matt.
talk to you. How are things?
Yeah, things are good. I wanted to thank Will first of all for I had tweeted you the odd thing I noticed about CBS All Access, how the commercial breaks can restart if you switch your TV's HDMI from where I watch on an Xbox. And if I switch the television from HDMI 2 where the Xbox is plugged in to HDMI 1 to check something on the satellite cable box,
and then switch back.
and I go back to 2, the whole commercial break will restart once the TV's back on HDMI 2.
So my response helped you belay some of the creepy feelings about it? I mean, because it's really simple. They just have something in the code that says if for any reason you're not actively in this window, if your mouse activity or something is somewhere else, or in this case your display is somewhere else, it'll just pause all functions. And then when you come back, it's like, all right, you're not getting by me so easy, my friend.
CBS really wants me to watch that Cologuard commercial or whatever they're showing.
Okay. So wait. So am I?
That?
It's like one of the colon cancer screenings that you can do at home.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I tell you what, CBS knows its audience.
No, dude, the scary thing that I don't know if you noticed he mentioned there, it was like a colon whatever that you do at home. Colon inspection you do at home. I'm already saying that there ain't no reason I want any activity back there as is, let alone some type of diagnostics that are
Hope
performed.
it comes with a defogging mirror.
So some things should just be left to the dildonics professionals.
I completely agree.
Thank you.
So I'm glad we got that worked out. So wait a minute. So does that mean? Look, I'm so stupid with this. I'm obviously paying for something that I shouldn't be, because when I watch like Star Trek Discovery, I don't see any commercials at all. So have I subscribed to too high a tier?
Well, there's like, I think for about $10 a month you get the commercial free, and for about $6 a month you get limited commercials.
Well, that's not so bad if you're looking to save $4. That's worth $4 for me not to have to sit through commercials.
Yeah, it would be for me too if I had a better job, I guess.
If you didn't actually need that colon guard so badly.
That's true.
Saved your life, my man.
Goddamn fancy California living fella just spending his extra $4 on his commercial free viewing.
You and your baked beans and your commercial-free CBS All Access.
He doesn't even, that sumbitch, he don't even cook his bacon. He buys it crumbled in a big bag at the Costco. Fancy living.
That's fancy.
By the way, Trent, 15-pound bag of golden potatoes at Costco. 15, I don't remember. I could look at my receipt, but I'd imagine it would be below cost that you would get in your average supermarket.
Yeah, I've got a sweet deal right now. I'm getting 39 cents a pound.
Ooh!
I'm just stocking up on those suckers.
Now, have you thought about growing your own potatoes when the weather gets warmer?
You know what? I haven't.
Trent, if Matt Damon can do it on Mars, you can do it in Utah.
Grow potatoes on Mars.
He did.
Well.
Are you calling Matt Damon a liar?
Look, I'm just saying, sometimes you buy a zoo and you end up being they bought a zoo.
No, you've mashed up two different
things.
That
was brilliant.
The only Matt Damon movie I could think of right. Well, how about them apples is what, because I do want to plant a couple apple trees this year.
Yeah,
you buy a zoo and you save Private Ryan.
I got to tell you, Trent, hold on. I want you to remember, fruit trees are a commitment, okay? Because they can very easily also get overgrown.
True.
And go
Absolutely.
nuts, and then you will go nuts.
I've looked into this, and I'm doing Jonathan apple trees. I'm going to plant a couple this year. It'll be a few years before they're bearing, but I'm real. It's what my the vacant house next to me has had, and I've pilfered for years and years. And now someone's living there, and I can no longer steal all their apples.
Well, just remember that you really want it to make kind of a bowl shape with them branches. And you only want your growth on the outside, and be sure to top that business off, man.
Yeah, so it can get light from above. Otherwise, the upper growth limits the lower growth's chlorophyll consumption.
Well, I right now am waiting to still see if I have a peach tree or a peach stump, because. I took an electric, when you got the right tools, I took the chainsaw to it. And so literally I've saved the only branches that could potentially grow in the right direction. I'm going to have to see them thicken up over the year, which I watched another one do. It was just like a little tiny thing like these branches. But come the end of the season, it's a full-blown branch.
Big old fruit baster, didn't it, man? I'll tell you what.
Yeah, buddy. So just remember they're a commitment, Trent. That's all I'm saying.
Does that mean you won't have to beat your peach tree for a while?
I always, if you're wondering
not every year, right, Will, that you're supposed to beat the peach tree.
No, you need to control the growth every year. This year, I will probably be stripping away anything that grows because I don't want to compromise the branches. But I did look out, and I think I did see the starting of the first blossoms. Starting, so it looks like I have not completely killed it.
All right.
Well, you haven't beat it too hard. But to go back to the potato growing, there's nothing I hate more in the world than any type of like weeding, and if I planted potatoes, I know it's minimal work, but it's not like a potato field that has had years to like be trained and like cultivated. So I would have to do some weeding because it'd be a pain in the ass. And for 39 cents, man, come on.
That's true. Now what we do, we have like a back porch, and I get like a big like a storage tub, and I fill it with
Oh.
Miracle Grow soil, and put a couple of pieces of potato in there that have already started to sprout.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I
that
don't
you
have to
left in
go
the
out
fridge
into
for
the
a little
yard.
too long. Yep.
Yep. And then a month or so later, we've got spuds. Now, it's not a whole lot, but it's a neat
Sure.
thing. And we originally did it for my oldest son was a big fan of The Martian, and so I was like, well, you want to try growing
Ah.
potatoes just like Matt Damon did? Not with the same fertilizer that he used. We
And
stuck with Miracle Grow.
And that's when you the first one you got, you cut it in half and slammed it against the window and said, "How about them potatoes?"
Again, you're kind of just
No.
you're twizzling the movies, Trent.
You're Damon drifting.
Yeah,
Ah,
don't get caught in the
damn
Damon
it.
drift.
There's your show title.
I am going to write something about that on Urban Dictionary as soon as
There
we're
you go.
finished.
The Damon drift.
The Damon drift.
Anyway, Matt, as long as you're on the phone, we may as well discuss one of the topics at hand. Once again, and I forgive me for putting it this way, right? But we are once again experiencing the wonderful dry hand job of Star Trek Discovery's story scheduling. I'm seeing some reflections of season 1 in the current season, Trent, where you basically get a bit of a premise at the very front, and then you get a bunch of divergent stories and directions. And we've known from the beginning on this season that they're well, look, God damn it, there's no other way to tell it, Trent. Somehow Star Trek found another way to be on the search for Spock again. You know.
Well,
Correct. Matt,
we killed him once, and then we came back again and changed the continuity so that we could look for him again.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but are we not once again in the search for Spock?
It is very much the search for Spock
Yeah.
once again, although it technically happened in the Star Trek timeline before the other search for Spock.
Right, yes.
But yeah, that's
okay.
pretty much what they're doing.
Well, that's and Trent, I don't know if you know this, but in the world of the Star Treks now, that means the movie ones, the reboots that we got, are the
Yes.
Kelvin timeline.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Kelvin. Because of the heat, the way we measure heat in Kelvin.
Actually,
named after J.J. Abrams' grandfather originally. That's why he
The-
works.
yeah,
He names
the guy
Kelvin
who
into all
found-
of his movies.
Yeah, he found Absolute Zero, Dr. Kelvin. Yes.
No, not the same. Again, I thought it was
He
just the
found
movies,
JJ's
Trent, but you're
grandmother.
twizzling everything. It's just
It's red vining. It's where they just wrap around each other the whole way.
okay. Pardon me, I keep saying twizzling. Yes. You know, I don't read the Urban Dictionary, Trent. That's my problem.
Well, reading's one thing, but contributing, I tell you what.
It's just a whole other experience. You guys got me all befuddled now. I know I've talked a little negative here, but honestly, I have really enjoyed the quality of the stories we've gotten from the second season of Star Trek Discovery so far. What do you think?
Yeah, I've really, really enjoyed season 2 so far.
Yeah. So that's which is good when you're paying for it.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So is dude like Trent ever going to get to see these outside of just like going to Google Play or Amazon and just buying them episodically? Like, is it gonna end up on Netflix? Or I mean, how is there not like a Star Trek subscription service at this point?
Well,
right?
that's what CBS All Access is trying to do, because they've got Star Trek Discovery on its second season. They are bringing back the original series Star Trek cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
And they also are having a post Star Trek Next Generation Jean-Luc Picard program.
I saw the buzz on that a few months ago when it was announced. People were flipping their shit.
Yeah, they're not Trent. They're not screwing around. They know.
No.
That's the thing.
No.
They're like, we run the Big Brother, and people do look at the content. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we have finally found the McDonald's French fries of how to get people to subscribe to our service, because it's the Star Trek.
And Chuck
Oh, yeah.
Lorre's like, now how can we get more of these nerds to watch my product.
Well, don't worry, Chuck. They'll fall in there anyway, and CBS is shutting down the big nerd appeal one anyway, so don't worry about it. I didn't know Chuck Lorre listened, but it's good that I could personally give him that advice.
you can talk to him. No, yeah, you can address him just at Chuck or Mr. Lorre.
See, the problem is
that's his dad's name.
he can't hear a thing I'm saying because his head is just buried in two gigantic piles of money. Saying he cannot hear me through all the bills just crunching around him.
It's true. He's got Scrooge McDuck money. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah.
He's like Bill Burr in that episode of Breaking Bad, laying down on the big stack of cash.
Just wanted to lay on it.
Yep, just wanted to lay on it.
Yeah, I personally, it's been worth it for me to maintain it just for that. But they do. CBS basically shoves all their properties into that service. So, like, I think you can watch every single Star Trek TV series iteration now through CBS All Access.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do have some original programming where they're trying to get some crossover.
I didn't know that.
There's some show that's a spinoff from The Good Wife that's on there. It's an original for there. Like I mentioned, the Big Brother streaming, that all happens through CBS All Access. But yeah, they got it. Like, if you want to watch some nostalgia TV too, man, they've got a whole F-ton buried behind their payment wall.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah, like some I've even thought for a moment or two. It's like, no, I really don't have time to do that. I'm still trying to get through Community, goddammit. Which, by the way, I cannot believe how much in a very short time I have forgotten about that program, Trent, because I just got done rewatching all 6 seasons. Boy, I really wish they had never let Harmon go for that 5th season, because we just we never know what we really could have gotten. Not that there was anything wrong with the 6th season on Yahoo directly.
Yeah, when that was a thing.
Yeah. That not that
before it was VZW Media, I think it's called now.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. There were still a lot of good, enjoyable moments encapsulated in there, and in other moments it just felt forced. And the 5th season too, I think it kind of worked a little too hard to recover some ground. Because it was stuck narratively where it was after the 5th season that, Harmon wasn't behind. Which, interestingly enough, I think one of the only elements that he recognized and carried forward from that season was Brie Larson as Abed's girlfriend, the coat check girl.
Yeah.
But I did forget, and actually Matt tried to reinitiate my memory on it, but, look, I'm saying some of those viewing sessions have happened probably a little later than they should, and I woke up midway into VCR repair, etc., which starts off with the Dean's rap dressed as a payday because he's deferring payday. You remember?
Yes.
See, you remember that. I didn't. I had to, and then Matt posted that, so I've been sitting here waiting. I'm like, was that a post-credit sequence? I don't remember. I should have looked at the picture more because I would have seen
Jonathan Banks.
Yeah, I would have seen Banks's head present, and I would have been, oh, okay, well, that would have been 5th season. Oh, it was the 4th season. Was that the tragically bad one without Harmon? I think so, because Harmon came back for the 5th season, and then the 6th season on Hulu.
Yeah.
So it was season 4, which makes sense because when I went back and watched it after the first 3 seasons, that 4th season was really I guess the best way to put it is if you had poorly written fanfic of Community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so if I'm in my basement just shipping hard on Annie's boobs and I don't know what other animal might have been in there, then I could get drafted to write for the show.
Well, I never noticed thematically and structurally just how different that season was at the time because, we were just happy it was back for a full season.
Totally. And we were watching episodically, right? And there is, man, in this world that we are of sheer binge-otainment, you can pick up on thematic structure and nuances that when you're watching week to week, you just miss completely.
Matt had to either accidentally hung up on us or just fell asleep listening. He's gone now, but that's okay because I was about to say, hey Matt, sorry, we should really let you go because it's like past midnight his time now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which means we're also wrapping up soon. But
Yeah.
anyway,
and for those not knowing, Matt is credited with a story on the Next Generation.
yes, he was. Matt, I was just about to say sorry. We're going on about this, and we should let you go to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna head to bed in a second. Really quick, last thing to jump on the sort of the community theme. Did you ever see the movie that's on Netflix called A Futile and Stupid Gesture?
No, I have
No.
not.
It tells the story of Doug Kenny, who's the guy that sort of created the National Lampoon, and he started
at
a lot
Harvard.
of things. Yeah, at Harvard and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's in the movie, Joel McHale plays Chevy Chase in a few scenes.
Oh wow!
What?
And he's brilliant. He's only in a few scenes, but it's just amazing. It's a great movie too, because it sort of tells the story of how they started the National Lampoon magazine. It went from a Harvard publication, and then they made it national after that, and then they started a few other things.
Well,
and
it doesn't take a lot to hook me in. I actually watched an episode of The Big Bang Theory because Kevin was on it. All you have to tell me is Joel McHale briefly does Chevy Chase in something, and I'm like, oh, I'm there. So thank you for that. Why don't you repeat it again for everyone that's listening, just to make sure that they got what it was?
The movie is called A Futile and Stupid Gesture. It's named after a line from Animal House.
Yes, yeah. So he was a contemporary along with Harold Ramis. I mean, arguably one of the greatest comedy writers of all time.
Yes. So give it a shot. It's hilarious. I loved it. It's on Netflix. So you've got Netflix. Watch it. Enjoy.
Very cool. Be sure to check that out. Thanks a lot, sir, and have a good night's sleep. Sorry we kept you up so late.
All right. Yep. No problem. One love, gentlemen.
One glove.
One glove indeed. Thanks for that. By the way, we never mentioned these. That's why you're only hearing from the diehards. Actually, those are the only people that would call. But if you had wanted to,
oh yeah, of how they.
YakBet 9020 on your phone, or you could just call us NetHeads on air via Skype.
Yes.
If you so wanted to. But we have jobs, and Trent is up late, an hour later than I am, technically.
Yeah. But you probably get up way earlier than I do.
I don't know.
Oh, I freaking do. Mornings are so hard. I just love sleeping so much. But I also love doing shit at night too. I'm conflicted, Will.
Oh, it's hell. That's why Trent. Here's what you got to do. What you got to do is you got to work for yourself, because you're never going to be rich.
I know.
And you know what? Never mind.
Yeah. It's that, or I just need to do way more cocaine.
Yeah. Well, if it's good enough for Mindy Sinclair, it's good enough for you, Trent. So, wow, we hit a lot of things there I wasn't really expecting to hit, but I was thrilled to finally get done with Community. What's funny is really how much more television you end up watching once you get rid of cable. It's like once you get rid of the redundant stupidity of television, you fall into this custom buffet of obsession.
And how freaking bizarre it is to see commercials. It's when I was the last time I saw like a big block of commercials backstage at Wise Guys, they just had a TV on. I think there was a football game or something on while people were filing in, and I was just staring at it like, what the fuck? What are these things? Why is everything so bright and loud and yelling at me? Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. It's like you're getting. Why do I have to keep adjusting the goddamn volume?
Oh, it's unnerving.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, you watch live events like the Super Bowl. You can't get away from them.
Yeah, no, you can't.
I did want to say though, as long as we have been talking about television, one of the other things that surprises me more, each and every episode, is probably one of the best Star Trek shows to not be a Star Trek one, and that is the Orville on Fox. Have you had any opportunity to check that one out yet, Trent?
I haven't yet. I have a few friends of mine who are diehard, like full-on Trekkies, and that's exactly how he described it to me. He's like, it's possibly the best Star Trek show.
Well, what I did key in on that I hadn't before, because it has the cool thing about it is that it has a very next generation type of feel, like so much so that other than obvious advancements in what they're able to do, still the set work, the lighting, everything feels very next generation to me. Star Trek Next Generation. But it's not surprising because you see a lot of the names as consultants on the credits. Like Brandon Braga is involved. Sorry if I'm saying the name wrong.
Yeah.
But, that's like one of those people you used to see come up all the time on Next
on
Gen.
every TNG episode. Yeah.
So, it's it has a lot of he has a lot of people consulting on it as well. And it does. The storylines have been very interesting. And in some of them, you're like, oh, wait a second. No, I saw this before as a Next Gen episode. But no, it's something different. Like the show has an artificial life form on it, right? Who is from this planet Kalon, I think is what it's called. I can't remember what the race name is. But he's like a completely artificial intelligence encapsulated in a humanoid shape and form. And, he ends up getting into a relationship with the ship's doctor. And you think, oh, wait, I already saw this Next Gen episode. And it's where it's determined, well, because the Data doesn't have feelings, he's not really ever going to truly be able to fulfill somebody in a relationship because there's only so much growth he could really do. Although, writing-wise, I loved that episode because at the very end, she goes to kiss him goodbye, Data, whoever the blonde was that played the role. And, she says, what were you thinking about in that moment? And he goes through a list of things, including, if he was applying enough pressure. And in the end, it's just like she says, oh, well, at least I was in there somewhere. And it just kind of breaks your heart because this is a person that was trying something new and then comes to realize, well, I really can't have a relationship here. Whereas,
the whole time... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, whereas in the Orville, it goes a different direction that I wasn't expecting. I won't spoil it, but I would say it was a nicer resolution, which did kind of hint at tones that occur later on in the Next Generation. So it's got a lot of it's a show that has a lot of benefit from its predecessors and the people that were involved in it. But the other thing too that I like about it is that it's not the true holier than thou Star Trek and Federation. Which
TNG was very much.
Yeah, it's also a regular workplace comedy. Essentially, these guys that are piloting the ship or in engineering or what have you, they're still ordinary people. Like, in one of them, they're between security guards, and this guy comes in straight from the gym, so he's still in sweats, and he's like, "Is it okay?" And then he starts eating this giant salad at his workstation. And it's like, oh, come on. How many times? Look.
Oh, the headphones go on when somebody's Doritos come out.
Exactly.
Or corn chips come out.
Or their fried potato bits.
Hey, I tell them up front, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be eating these. And they're loud AF, as the kids would say. Like, it's like... God, they're so loud.
But so good, right?
They're delicious. That one episode, it's funny because the whole time I couldn't get over the fact that Riker, his commanding officer, told him to date her. Like, oh yeah, this is a good idea. Go and play with this subordinate. Yeah, you should date a subordinate. That's a great idea.
Clearly, they don't have the same human resource issues we do.
Come on, Riker.
Trent, it's the future. It's fine. It's
Go play your trombone with some sexy hologram, Riker. Jeez.
Exactly. Well, and like I said, this is a lot more grounded. Like they have to do relationship consent forms and that type of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's one of the elements that come up. But look, here's the best thing I could say about the Orville. I watch it on delay. Obviously, I don't watch it live. And so I always wait for the next day on Hulu, once again, Hulu. And it's what I will do the elliptical to exercise on. Because let me tell you, Trent, there's 2 times a week I do the elliptical. When I'm watching the latest episode of The Flash.
Okay.
And when I'm watching the Orville. Because I freaking hate the elliptical. But those shows are enough
to pull you out of it.
Yes, exactly. I'm not even in the moment. Like, so much so that I've been like going through the different program levels on it. Because, there's nothing better than saying, oh, and it comes with 9 different exercise modes for the elliptical, 9 different training plans, and you're like, wonderful, and you look in the manual like, well, where's the breakdown of what these are?
Yeah. No, it's an adventure.
It's setting roulette, my bro. So so this, like the last time when I did program 4, I was like, son of a gun, and that one was amping up the elevation and the resistance.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my gosh. At the very end, I realized this was more difficult, and I look and I saw the settings and I realized why, but I had been completely engrossed in the Orville the whole time. As a matter of fact, I think one of the other things I can say about it that at least we're right now in the middle of its first 2-parter that I can think of, and some stuff once again took a real left turn. I'd love to thank Google News, and I would love to thank the on-site news publishing sites that don't know how to properly structure a headline for spoiling it for me. So, you know, so I didn't get to experience the way it was intended, but, you know, something big happened at the end of part 1. And the interesting thing is that according to Seth MacFarlane, nope. Seth, what is his name? It is MacFarlane, isn't it?
Yeah, no. MacFarlane, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's the same as Todd McFarlane.
Thank you. That's what's screwing me up.
That's how I always remember it, yeah.
I'm like, wait, no, he didn't create, oh, I can't even remember the name of the character.
Spawn.
Thank you. He didn't create Spawn. He said that this has been planned since day 1. So they knew this would eventually be a story they got to if they were lucky enough to get, you know, the pickup and carried forward.
Yeah.
So that's it's got a lot of good elements. And plus it's human stories. A lot of them, it just like ends how you would normally want TV to end. So good stuff is what I'm saying.
With a happy ending.
You dirty boy, you. There was something you wanted to file away for technology reference or something you remember you wanted to stick a pin on something?
Just a couple of quick things. We referenced a long time ago why we were using Skype because Google Hangouts was going the way of the dinosaur. Yep. And now, if you have an Android phone, a new one within the past year, you may have seen an app on it that you didn't know what it was for called Duo. It is their new video service. It is now open to the public, duo.google.com if you want to check it out. It's supposed to be a completely encrypted video connection, and their whole goal is privacy and low data usage. So good quality with as much low as possible. Anyway, and you don't have to do like 2-step verification or anything like that. You just need your Google login.
That's actually good to know. Maybe we should see how that works, considering right now I can't even do actually that's not true. I did a screen capture and it worked this time. Before you weren't working on the capture, so I don't know what changed there.
Yeah, don't even get me started on the OBS like workarounds. What did I have to? With OBS sometimes. A lot of my computers have 2 graphics cards.
Yeah.
So where it'll be, it'll have a graphics card just to like run your display and your OS, and then one for actual like high intensity stuff. You have to go and like change some settings on the dormant one so that you can actually capture when the big one or the more intense. Anyway, neither here nor there. So there's that. The other thing that is that I think is worth ending on because it's kind of funny. Fortnite, Will.
Oh God, I've
been playing a little Fortnite. You've been dabbling in the waters of Fortnite.
Yeah, I've almost considered taking the NetHeads Twitch stream out of mothballs, just to unfortunately, Conan already thought up this one, but I would want to almost rename it Incompetent Gamer because I cannot play that game at any level or it's miserable just to watch me play. It's like, oh look, he's going into a match, he's dead. Wonderful. And I somehow had payment hooked up to it, and my account got hacked.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, it got hacked. So I had to dispute some charges. Thankfully, everything went well. And the thing that made me laugh about the mention on not having to do multi-factor authentication for Duo, I tried to enable multi-factor authentication for my hacked account. But, they're not sending me any of the emails. And yes, I checked the spam or junk mail folder as well. I'm not getting anything from them, so I can't enable multi-factor authentication. It's genius. Because first you need a verified email.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, what do you got?
So Epic, the company that makes Fortnite, everyone sees Fortnite. It's a huge cultural phenomenon right now. It is currently being faced with a lawsuit over one of its dance emotes.
Oh, that happens all the time, though.
So it's a good story. Two former University of Maryland basketball players were brought onto the Ellen Show because of their Running Man dance, right? And dancing is so hard to copyright, depending on where you live, especially. But like in the U.S., to copyright a dance, it has to be like a very intricate and like hard to do dance almost, like and very long. However, this is not the first time that they have been brought charges against them for dance emotes in the game.
Nope. Alfonso Ribeiro.
Alfonso Ribeiro, yes. Former Fresh Prince of Bel-Air sidekick.
Yeah, but his
Carlton
case got thrown out. They're like, no, you can't copyright a dance.
2 Milli and Blockboy JB, a couple of rappers. Also, someone you might remember as the Backpack Kid.
I do. The only reason why I say I remember him as the Backpack Kid is because I already know the dance move is called the floss.
Yes,
but in the Good Place, the episode before the season finale,
yes,
Ted Danson does it, and they say, Michael, what are you doing? He's all Backpack Dance Kid or Backpack Kid Dance. I'm like, oh, yes. He came up with the floss. Anyway.
And so as Ribeiro's is the only one that's actually gone to has gone the furthest. It was thrown out because it is so. They suggested actually that he didn't have the right to sue in that case because he was under contract, meaning that NBC owned the dance.
Oh, good.
So if NBC wanted to file,
bring somebody with bigger lawyers into this, guys. Thanks.
So anyway, keep trying on your Fortnite, and if you see a Running Man going on in there, well, you'll know that it's a hot topic right now.
Dude, that game is such a hot mess to try and play in any competitive. Because the big thing is the freemium version where it's battle royale. So you're doing matches as teams. You could go partners. You could go solo. Or another one that's fun. They have like team rumbles that you can try and get to a number of kills first.
Right.
And there you get to at least keep, but you keep respawning. But that game is so miserably complex for my thinking because you not only have to incorporate the first-person shooter skills and an ability to defend yourself with good PvP skills, but also it changes the game because you can instantaneously, as long as you have the materials, build structures around you and to try and gain higher ground and all that. It's too damn much going on at once, Trent.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn!
Yeah, and as a viewer, it's not fun to watch, right? I would way rather watch Battle Royale of Player Unknown than not Player Unknown. Yeah, of like the 100 people drop in and then the course gets smaller and smaller and smaller as they're fighting each other. But
that's what they do that in Fortnite as well. But again, you've got people that in the end it comes down to building complex structures to try and defend yourself, which look, I get it. They created a niche there, so good for them. But you're right. It's not exactly thrilling to watch. Jason Mewes, J Mewes on Facebook, he live streams Fortnite, and the funnest times I've had watching his streams is when he's been doing some of the less traditional things. He's got a heavy sniper rifle, and he's assisting the team that way. It's more of the conventional gaming that I'm used to seeing.
Yeah.
And that is more fun than watching people spinning around and suddenly blocks and buildings.
Yep.
And it's like Minecraft threw up on PUBG and
yeah, exactly. Yep.
To hell with it is what I'm saying. But I'm still trying, and it's not not working.
As the little cat on the branch said, "Will, hang in there."
I'll do that, man. Thank you very much, by the way, folks, for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Facebook page, and follow the Twitter. I mean, there's so much. How do you get people to buy into all? But seriously, though, it's like if you're doing these things, unfortunately, you have the motivation to do it. Like if you wanted to monetize YouTube, you need to have a certain number of subscribers now and a certain number of watched minutes or something along those lines.
Yes. Within certain amounts of time and being consistent in that publishing and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and you know, before we were monetized without that, but Trent, I want you to know we did get our 91 cents, so don't worry about that, okay?
Yes.
Right? Now you can get some more.
Yes.
You can get I saw a thing, Trent. You may want. It's like a flat iron for your beard, so you can take it and straighten it if you want. If you want to.
No, I'm not getting a chi for my beard, even though the synthetic material is a lot less harsh on the follicles and the hair than traditional flat irons, because they're not. It's a synthetic clay almost. It's not metal. You don't want to put metal on your hair, Will.
Okay, good to know. All I'm saying though is there have to be some special occasions, like every once in a while, where you need the beard to be a little more kempt, right?
Well, that's where my array of pomades, oils, waxes, and combs comes into play.
Which is what I was gonna say. You can use the 91 cents towards your beard wax fund, right?
Yes.
But really, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Facebook page, and all that jazz. Just for the hell of it, please. And don't forget, also we do. God, hi, I'm shilling now. But like a couple weeks ago, I went to the East Bay Comic-Con, and I will finally. Look, I haven't done anything with the video because I found the inserts that I recorded on the day didn't turn out at all because reasons. So all I need to do is sit where I'm sitting right now, Trent, and just record new inserts and wraparounds, so that way I can thematically put what I got that day together into something enjoyable. That will be on our Patreon page. Some of our subscribers that are at the level, they've gotten I've already received notices. They got their letters or their postcards. It's letters. And pretty soon you're going to start getting some of the other stuff that I keep getting because I'm subscribed to stuff. I'm a big fan of Death Wish coffee, and you cannot.
Yeah, you showed that at the introduction to the show.
Yeah, you can't find their Valhalla blend in my grocery store, but I've got like a gazillion of these stickers. So pretty soon, if I'm going to keep doing letters, I'll be slipping these things in there for the graduated things there. Even now, I don't know if I'm supposed to get a vest, but I got a Death Wish. I got 2 Death Wish patches now. And once I started subscribing to their delivery service, they have their own challenge coin. Trent, look at that.
Yeah.
Not that I'm I'm
coin
not,
check.
Exactly. There you go. And once again another sticker. But I'm not here to shill for Death Wish coffee. I'm just saying if you're one of the higher level tiers on the Patreon, then eventually I'm just going to start randomly sending some of this stuff out. Folks, I'm cleaning my office. There's going to be so much Loot Crate swag that's going to be going away. And I'm pretty sure I'm just going to start randomly getting it out that way. It's like, oh, a little postage, and here you go, folks. Thanks for subscribing. So go to the Patreon, but you can find it all at netheadsonair.com. That's the easiest way, the most convenient way, and the fastest way to get to all the stuff that we link. And thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Until next time, Trent, I'm Will.
I'm me, Trent.
There you go. And how do we say this? We'll be back
soon.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off. I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it. NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
Contrary to what's said, I think the show title is going to be something that you said more around the lines of the height of dog happiness.
Oh, it's so true, man.
Like, do people realize I specifically try and find something you say? I don't know why. Probably it's because my stupid voice dominates the conversation throughout the entire show. But genuinely, I find the stuff. Maybe it's because you made me laugh. But I always try and find the show title in a term you say.
Aw, thanks, Will. I'll try not to make everything about dicks and farts.
See, you're trying to end it on a funny note, but instead I was just going to come back and say, like, yeah, I really appreciate that. Well, let me try and figure out a way to use that at the grocery store. These potatoes aren't buying themselves.